Hello, I'm Billy the Disney Guy, and today we're gonna rank 5 movies and series. So we'll do a movie and then a show, and that's how we're gonna do it. So before we start, just know that this list is for 2020 only, because we had November and December, because Disney Plus came out on November 12th last year. So just keep that in mind. So High School Musical, the musical, the series doesn't count because, well, there is a holiday special, but spoiler, that won't be in the list because it's not really like a movie. I did enjoy it though. But if season 2 came out, then yeah, it would have been in the list. So it would be here, but it's not. So, because of the pandemic. So that'll be next year, season 2. So the holiday special was good though, because it's helping me wait, gave me something while I wait for season 2, while we all wait. So anyway, without further ado, let's start at the bottom. So starting off, we have at the bottom, Into the Making of Frozen 2. This is the behind the scenes documentary for Frozen 2. I really enjoyed this series. It's really well done. And I got so into it that I was like, what's going to happen to Show Yourself? That is like my favorite song out of the movie. Like, Show Yourself. Like, it's so good. It's such a good song. It's very important, for Elsa, and it's a good song. And I don't think it's my favorite. It's not. I like the movie, but I don't know if I like it more than Frozen 1 or 2. But the series, it was really well done. It really shows you how they make these movies, and not just obviously Frozen 2, but animated movies and how the process works. They take a long time to make, which you might forget about, but they really do take a long time. Getting the finishing touches done, you're like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, that's what making an animated movie is like. And it's obviously not all happy and good, so I like that this series is, it shows it pretty realistic. It actually goes into like, the stressful part where it's like, are we gonna be able to do this, So, obviously you don't think about that when you watch the movie. You just love having a good time, and it's all thanks to the people that worked on it. So, thank you. And so thank you, Disney, for making this behind-the-scenes stuff. We do enjoy it. And it's just nice to see how they make these things, because you forget that it takes a lot of effort. So, thank you. Now for the movie that is at the bottom, we have Phineas and Ferb, Candace Against the Universe. We're talking about this, which I have done a review for, which you'll see as it pops up, the ones that I've done a review for that are in this list. It will pop up here if you want to find out more. But yeah, this movie was really fun. I had a good time with this. I love that they centered around Candace, because we never really have that. Like, she never is, like, the star, She's always trying to bust her brothers, but, like, she's not, like, the star, Like, at the center of the movie. So, if you want to know more, like, I've done that. But, review, so. But otherwise, let's move on to number 4. So, the number 4 show I have is Road Trip. I really enjoyed this series. It shows you how, and this is what Nat Geo does good, they show you the world and show you that the world, the world's not all bad, and there's some nice places out there, some nice people, and that's what I love about this series. It shows that, and that's what Nat Geo does best. They show you the landscapes and just how good people can be, because there are good people out there, and that's what this show does. If you haven't seen it, make sure you watch this. Make sure you watch everything on this list. But, yeah, I like it. So, because usually I don't talk about Nat Geo, but it's nice to talk about other stuff. So next up for the movie, we have Godmothered, which is a really hilarious movie. So, really enjoyed it. It was hilarious. I liked it more than Noelle. Though Noelle feels more Christmassy, which is, which is what you want. Godmother happens to take place around Christmas, but Christmas is part of that. But Noelle was obviously more, Christmassy. She wants to become Santa Claus, and she does. Spoiler, I guess. But anyway, yeah, Godmother is hilarious. And if you haven't seen it, well, it's kind of getting late now. It's not Christmas anymore. But I hope you've seen it because this is a funny movie and it's Christmas. It's Christmassy, so yeah, love Godmother. Next up, we have The Right Stuff, which is an incredible series about taking a look back, in the 60s during the space years, during the space program and going into space and all that. So this is an incredible series if you haven't seen it. There is supposedly a season 2. They haven't confirmed that yet, but it seems that we are getting another season. So make sure you go watch this. It's an incredible series. It's the first non-scripted series from National Geographic. I believe it's like the first real drama show from them. So yeah, make sure you go watch. So yeah, it's kind of weird talking about Nat Geo because I never talk about them on this channel, but hence why I'm doing this video so I can talk about these other things. So number 3 for the movie, well, we have Hamilton. Yes, of course. Hamilton has to be on the list because it's such a well done musical. It's the stage play, obviously. Some bits of it were actually filmed, but this is mostly the stage performance that they did. And I'm not big on Broadway, but I do have to say this is really well done, and it's of course the highlight of 2020. It's such a good movie, and obviously it did really well on Disney Plus when it came out. And during Election Day, it was trending again, and now it's trending again because they have a 2020 highlight row now, so people are revisiting it. And it's a rewatchable film. Personally, I got a little bored of it, but it is high on that. It is high up because of how well done it is and everything. So that's why that's why the title isn't my favorites, because this would have been a different list if it were my favorites. So number 2, we have the Clone Wars. Now, if you don't know, I really enjoy Star Wars. I don't really talk about it much, but I'm gonna talk about it. So this is the final season of the Clone Wars, which I'm really happy we got that finished because Netflix had season 6 as an original, which obviously it's kind of like another show, which comes to mind Pokemon Journeys, which is what I'm thinking of now, which But Pokemon Journeys is not technically an original, but that's different because that was obviously dubbed into English, while the Clone Wars is originally in English. But the point is that they call it an original, but obviously it's not going to stay there forever because it was obviously a short-term deal. So before Disney Plus comes out, they said let's go ahead with another season so that we can call it an original. And also since there was more of that story to tell, and they told it, and it was really well done. I'm glad they finished that so that the last season isn't a Netflix original, because that would be sad. And people can forget that the last season was technically an original on Netflix. So yeah, I'm glad they finished that story. It was really well done. And if you haven't seen it, I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a must. It's such a good series. We love it. And that leads right into the number 1. But we're gonna have to go to the second movie now. So for the second movie, I have Mulan, because that, for me, was a really well done remake. I personally enjoyed it because of how different it was. It wasn't the same old remake like Lion King, something like that, where it's just such a similar movie that it doesn't really stand apart. And I like that Mulan can stand on its own 2 feet. It's an action movie set in China, really well done, despite the controversy though, which you can go look it up. But besides that, it's really well done, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm glad I didn't pay the $30 and waited, because they did tell you the actual date, December 4th, and so I waited and really enjoyed it. Make sure you go watch Mulan. If you want a remake to be different, Mulan is what you're after. If you want a remake to not be so different, well, there is The Lion King. Ugh. Which they're making another one. I hope the second one is better, but anyway, let's move on to honorable mentions before we get to the number 1 spots. So for my honorable mention series, I'm going to have to say Prop Culture. It's really well done. I hope we see more of this kind of stuff. Not just more of Road Trip, but Prop Culture as well, looking at props and stuff. Maybe they could do it for the DComs. I don't know. Now for the honorable mention for the movie, I will say Zombies 2. Technically, I would put that above Hamilton and this is my favorite list, but it's not. So Zombies 2 is a really, I hope we get another one. It's really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed Zombies 2 and hope we get a third one. I already said that, but we do want it, so make it happen. Disney Plus original, would love it. But anyway, now we go into the number 1 spots. You've seen this coming, The Mandalorian Season 2. So, yes. I didn't put the behind the scenes show on here because I feel like that's too much Star Wars, so anyway, The Mandalorian, of course, that's without question. Like, you already know, like, it's really well done. Like, I don't even have to really say it. Like, you already know it's so good and it's really well done. You should go watch it. And I can't wait for Season 3 and the Book of Boba Fett and the Ahsoka show and like, oh my gosh, so much stuff. So anyway, let's move on to the number 1 movie. So that will be Soul, because Soul, yes, it is the best movie of this year. It is a masterpiece, and it's very important and needed to tell these different stories that, you know. So it tells the story of Joe, an African American, which we need stories like that, Disney. Representation is important. Thank you. And Soul is incredible. It's a masterpiece. I love it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's more for adults than kids, I'd say, because it's about life. Like, what's the meaning of life and finding your purpose. And, like, it is so good. I didn't cry, but I had the chills several times. And it just makes you think. So, yes, Soul is a masterpiece. Go watch it. And that's all I have to say for this video. So, like, subscribe, and turn on that bell icon so you never miss a new video. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you next year. So, bye.